So we have connected to our MongoDB database. Now the next thing we need to do is to create a schema. We use a schema to define the shape of documents within a collection in MongoDB. What do I mean by that? Well, let's go back to our MongoDB compass. I've created this database here, Playground, and in this database we have this collection called courses. A collection in MongoDB is like a table in a relational database. Now in this collection, courses collection, we have 3 documents. A document in MongoDB is kind of similar to a row in a relational database. So in relational databases, we have tables and rows. In MongoDB, we have collections and documents. Now let's take a look at this collection. So here's an example of a document. Each document is a container of key value pairs. So here we have underline ID, which is a unique identifier for each document. We have tags, which is an array of key value pairs. We have date, name, author, is published, and version. Now don't worry about how I created this. You're going to learn that over the next few lectures. Now, in Mongoose, we have this concept called schema. This is just specific to Mongoose. It's not part of MongoDB. We use a schema in Mongoose to define the shape of documents in a MongoDB collection. So we use that to define what are the properties we have in this document. Now let me show you how to create a schema. So back in VS Code, let's define a constant, call it course schema. This schema defines the shape of course documents in our MongoDB database. So we set this to a new mongoose.schema class. Here, when creating an instance of this class, we pass an object. And in this object, we specify the key value pairs that we should have in course documents. So we want each course to have a name property, and the type of this property should be a string. Similarly, each course should have an author of type string. I want our courses to have tags, and here I want to have an array of strings. Now technically, when this is stored, each object in this array will be a key value pair. The key will be the index, and the value will be that string. Okay? Now also, I want each course to have a date property of type date. Now we can also give this a default value. So we can change this from date to an object. This object has a type property that we set to date. And it also has a property called default. And we set this to date.now. With this, we don't have to specify a date when creating a course object. Date.now will be used as the default value for this property. And finally, I want each course to have a property called isPublished, which should be a Boolean. So here is the list of types we can use when creating a schema. We have string, number, date, buffer, which we use for storing binary data, Boolean, object ID, which is used for assigning unique identifiers, and array. Next, I'm going to show you how to create and save a document based on the course schema.